Browns held their pre-training camp press conference. It has finally arrived. John Dorsey and head coach Freddie Kitchens spoke to the media today. It was, I don't want to call it a standoffish press conference, but it was very clear that Freddie and Dorsey wanted to kind of change the tone going into this season. Mary Kay, what were your impressions of what you saw today?
Well, John Dorsey kept hammering away at bringing everyone together as one. And I think that's kind of the theme that they're going for here is they've got players from all over the place. They've got coaches from all over the place, and they're trying to present a united front and get everyone going in the same direction.
You know, it was fun to see the dynamic between them going back to the introductory press conference, and things were a little stiffer. I think they were both kind of, I mean, they knew each other, but it wasn't that relationship yet. Seeing them in there today, it was a lot of back and forth, a lot of joking. They were each kind of jumping into each other's answers and kind of helping out. And it's obvious that they're in sync and they're on the same page. And that's good news for Browns fans. That's good news for Browns players because the guys at the top, they seem to have a good relationship. So I think that's something to be excited about for the players and the fans going into training camp.
Now, Chris, we're going to write about our impressions from the press conference, but if you want texts from Mary Kay about her impressions from the press conference, head over to cleveland.com/Browns. Sign up for Project Text, $3.99 a month, right? To get texts from Mary Kay, her insights throughout training camp. You'll get all of that. Let's talk about some of the news of the day, and let's start with Duke Johnson. He is here as expected. There is maybe a little question when we found out that Drew Rosenhaus was going to be his new agent, but Duke has always kind of shown up and done his job. And Dorsey and Kitchens were both very clear that he is a member of the Cleveland Browns.
Absolutely. They are digging in their heels. They are not going to give Duke Johnson his way. They're not going to give Drew Rosenhaus his way, even though Duke brought in the heavy hitter to try to make this trade happen. These guys basically said today he's under contract, valuable member of the team. Freddie said, we are not giving good players away.
And Scott, when you look at Duke and, the Browns, really, despite maybe how much they might like a guy like Dontrell Hilliard and, of course, Kareem Hunt's coming, they still kind of need Duke right now.
Yeah, I think we can get past the will Duke show up and get back to the same old question we've always asked about Duke is how will he be used? I think when you look at how he's going to fit into this offense, they obviously have plans for him. And Dontrell Hilliard has kind of made that jump, and I think a lot of that had to do with just the fact that Duke wasn't here. Coaches may have been playing that up a little bit, but we did see a little bit from Dontrell Hilliard during OTAs, during minicamp. How that all fits together, we'll have to see. I think the bigger question is what will happen when we talk to Duke, because that seems to be where things blew up the first time, and then what happens when we talk to Baker about Duke. So, there's going to be something, but, he's here, and that's a good start.
And there's a name to keep in mind in free agency as well, potentially Mike Daniels, the defensive tackle from Green Bay. They kind of surprised everybody, and they cut him today, so he could be available for the Browns if they want him. We know about the Green Bay ties. This organization does not hesitate to bring in people that they had in Green Bay or that they know well from Green Bay. So this is a name worth keeping an eye on, Mary Kay.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. I mean, John Dorsey wouldn't say much yet because he hasn't actually hit the waiver wire yet, but obviously he's got the Green Bay connections. Those guys know everything about him, Elliott Wolf, Alonzo Highsmith, and John Dorsey was willing to say he's a good football player. When he says that, that means we're checking into it.
And again, you just go through those Green Bay connections, not just in the front office, but Demarius Randall, Jermaine Whitehead, Morgan Burnett, and there's others that they've had in Green Bay that they've brought in here as well. And we know they went after Gerald McCoy. We know they want to improve that interior of the defensive line.
Yeah, and I think all these players who become free agents and are free to go where they want, what we always hear from them is we want to go to a contender. We want to go someone who can win a Super Bowl. And that's Cleveland Browns now. That's their expectation. We heard it from Freddie today. So, every time a player who has some talent comes onto the market, the Browns are going to be a player in that.
And you know what else the Browns have that players really want? They've got money to spend on guys like that, maybe a little more than some other teams. So that'll do it from here in Berea. Again, find everything from today at cleveland.com/Browns. Make sure you sign up for Project Text, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow as training camp gets underway.